Ni hao, assalamu alaikum, hola, negative, bonjour, bumi, all that good stuff. Hello. My name is Kaya, and I am your host. Welcome to Yeah, I Said It. Okay, I am here today to do a video on Medea. I was inspired by the universe, and um, it was telling me that people don't name themselves what they name themselves for nothing. Whatever name you give yourself is basically, you know, your personality, what you are. And before I get started, I want you to grab what you need. Sorry, y'all, I was falling asleep. Sometimes I be doing research about listening to stuff and just fall asleep. But yeah, grab whatever you need to make yourself comfortable in the environment you're in, whether it's your coffee, your tea, your weed, your slippers, whatever, to make yourself comfortable in the environment you're in to enjoy my video. Do that, and I will be right back with my corny cheesy intro that I have not changed yet. Alrighty. I am back, and I hope you are as well. Okay, I'm gonna make this video quick. And I was gonna make some more fish. When I say that fish was popping a couple of days ago, oh my goodness, it was good. So, Medea, okay? And I'm like, wait a minute, where did, I'm asking myself, like, where did Tyler Perry get that name from? And I'm like, wow, like, it means something. And then I was wondering, like, was he even aware of his character? I just didn't know, excuse me. But anywho, the video I'm about to play is a couple minutes. I don't know how many I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna stop at on the video, but I am gonna go with the flow, and whenever the ancestors say stop, then I'll do that. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I sleep good every night though. Sometimes when I leave that little essental light thing on, I be not a headache, but I don't know. It's just best to lay down in the dark, sleep in the dark. Feel a little bit better. All right, so all right, I already have it on there, so I'm gonna put it on mute, and I'll be back.
In modern society, most marriages, to start with at least, are based on love. But that was not always the case. In centuries past, marriages, especially among the elite, were more often an alliance between families or nations. You did not marry for happiness. You married to fill a treasury, to avoid a war, or, as in the Norse tale of the Lay of Thrym, to reclaim something that was stolen.
Here I go with my peanut head. So these are the reasons that he just mentioned why the elite get married. Like back in the day, people didn't marry for love; they married for stability. You know, that was for the poor folks. You know, not people that wasn't rich or all that cool stuff. So yeah, moving along. Oh, before I do not have rights to this video, so it'll be in the bottom of the link. Oh God, it'll be at the bottom of the link, and you guys can go watch the rest of the video because I am not gonna play the entire video. But anyway, let's move forward.
In the mythology of the Norsemen of Scandinavia, there was a land far beyond the realms of men and gods. It was a land bleak and beautiful, of towering forests and raging storms. It was the home of the giants. This was the unforgiving realm that Thor, the god of thunder, ventured to in search of his stolen hammer. Without that mighty weapon, he was unable to defend Asgard from its enemies. He had to reclaim it. The story of how he did is part of the Poetic Edda, a fragmentary collection of Old Norse poems. The Poetic Edda was compiled in the 13th century, but the stories it contains are far more ancient. They're remnants of an oral tradition dating back centuries.
Pietro?
Yeah.
They took him?
Yeah. The Riggins took him. Yeah.
Where'd they go?
Well, we don't. That's the.
The tale of Thor and his missing hammer is among the collection's most popular stories. The thunder god soon realized where his hammer had gone. It had been stolen by Thrym, the hideous chief of the giants, and he would only return it on one condition.
There was another part, guys. Sorry.
Freya, the goddess of love, had to marry him. Thor and his brother, the trickster god Loki, tried to convince her, but Freya refused. If Thor was to get his hammer back, he would have to find another way. His fellow gods had a suggestion. Thor himself should be Thrym's bride. The thunder god was unimpressed with the idea of disguising himself as a woman. But he had no choice.
The Lay of Thrym gives people a chance to kind of play the what-if game. If this were possible, what would happen? So very rarely in these love stories do you get a picture of what society is like. You get a picture either of what society could be like or what some of the pitfalls and important dynamics of marriages and love affairs are within the society itself.
There's a lot of wacky gender bending in and around the Norse way of thinking, and it doesn't seem like that was because they were comfortable with gender bending. It actually seems like the opposite.
But you can certainly see how important marriage was. Marriages were alliances. They were not love marriages whatsoever. And you can see this because the giants will sort of say, well, we have this, or we will do this, but only if you give us Freya in marriage.
With his brother Loki beside him, dressed as a bridesmaid, Thor went to the land of the giants for the wedding feast. As part of the ceremony, the hammer was placed in his lap. His chance had finally come. He seized his weapon and threw off his disguise. The giants scattered, but there was no escape from the thunder god. Thor struck down first his stunned husband-to-be Thrym, and then all the other giants as well. Victorious, he returned to Asgard, his hammer and his masculinity restored at last.
The tales of the Norse gods were often grotesque, but they represent a kind of funhouse mirror to Viking culture, distorted though they may be. Something of the true form can still be seen.
In a way, Thor's disguise reflects the position women held in Norse society. The macho god was silenced as he donned the bridal robes. He remained quiet throughout the deception. His deep voice, of course, would have given him away, but his silence is revealing. To become a Norse woman in public, Thor had to lose his voice. The structure of Norse society was undoubtedly a patriarchal one. But that did not mean women were without power.
The thing with patriarchal societies is that you're actually talking about the structure of society. In practice, things were often very different. Just in pragmatic terms, the women are very important. They would, in effect, be much more equal in terms of what was going on.
Norse society consisted of two kinds of activity. You have the Vikings when they're off in their war bands doing raids. And then you have, if you will, the Vikings at home. The Vikings at home, you have a strikingly different picture. It's almost matriarchal. The women in Iceland and in the Northlands are very powerful, and they are strongly in control of what goes on within their kinship network.
Norse women did not become chieftains nor accompany men on their foreign raids. They forged their own rules instead. Less visible, perhaps, but influential all the same.
The story of the Lay of Thrym reminds us that silent and meek though they may have appeared, Norse women could be powerful too.
The port of Aulis. Here King Agamemnon had gathered his vast army, and here they waited, for there was no sign of the wind needed to carry them to war. In a tent perched
My bad. Hold up, y'all. The witch goddess Medea. They be trying to play me on. Look. They be trying to play me. I put Medea. I meant Medea. Huh? Yes. But it's a woman, a witch. I might have to redo this video over because yeah, I'm gonna have to do this video over. I don't feel like digging in the closet. I put my book up, but it had the timestamp and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm sorry.